by Carrie Larson, Jennifer Loudon, thank you, Douglas Neiman, Deborah White. Oh, thank you. They found it in Hong Kong. Really? And you say it was addressed to this school? Headmaster Stevens examined the strange box the secretary had brought him. It was a cube 2 centimeters along each side, made of a strange metal with no visible seams. A handwritten card attached to the top of the box gave only the school's address and the letters V.W. The letter that came with it said it was discovered during the excavation of one of the newer buildings in Hong Kong, and it was dated as being 200 years old. But that's long before this school was built, explained the headmaster. How can that be possible? And who or what is V.W.? His face screwed up with confusion for a moment, and he said, Volkswagen? The secretary could only shrug. The long dark corridor stretched before her. It had no doors on either side, no means of hope or escape. It was lit only by a bluish light seeping under the door at the other end. She felt drawn to the light. It seemed familiar. Without knowing how she moved, she drew closer, and suddenly she could make out the words on the door. It was the headmaster's office. Her hand reached out, and the door opened in perfect silence. The source of the blue light was a small metal box on the desk. She stepped up to it and reached out her hand. Victoria woke with a start into strange surroundings. Several panic-stricken seconds later, she remembered where she was, the moonlit dormitory, and her roommate sleeping soundly in the other bed. This was the third time that she had dreamed about this box. Each time, it seemed more real than reality itself in a strange way. And she fought back the powerful urge to go to the office immediately. She dared not, knowing the consequences. But the sense of urgency was too overwhelming. She left the room quietly, crept down the corridor to the headmaster's office. Her heart beating madly, she turned the door handle and pushed, and was astonished when the door actually opened. On the desk, she saw the little box, exactly as she had dreamt it, except without the glow. She was hesitant to touch it, yet the feeling of the dream had been one of reassurance. Trembling with fear, her fingers gently brushed the top of the box. It opened. She gasped, but nothing else happened. But inside there was only a piece of paper seemingly torn from a notebook. Written on it, in a familiar handwriting, was a message to her. My dear Victoria, it read, please come to the Det Sen Monastery and bring the following items. A bottle of sodium chloride solution, a towel, and a ham sandwich. Hurry. The doctor. What a doctor. Memories flooded through her. The doctor. Her second father through time. Rereading the note, she knew nothing would stop her from helping him. Precisely 1 week later, Victoria faced the deserted monastery. The bittersweet memories which she thought she had left behind flooded through her. Yet again she asked herself if she should have told anyone where she was going, and then yet again she knew it couldn't have been any other way. She took a deep breath and pushed her way carefully through the front gate, one door of which was hanging askew. Only shadows and ghosts of the past followed her. Trembling with fear, she remembered the last time she'd been here. The half-heard voice of Professor Travers, and the monks seemed to echo from the dim corners. She felt drawn to the abbot's chamber and realized that she remembered the way perfectly. She suddenly found herself at his door, but didn't know if she'd taken minutes or hours to get there. Mastering her courage, she pushed it open. Before her, there was a man, frozen, in a running position, encased in web, his hand reaching for the door, just meters away. "Doctor!" she cried, as she rushed forward to pull the web off him. But it wouldn't move. It seemed stronger than she remembered. She reached into her bag, pulled out the bottle of sodium chloride solution, and poured its contents over the web. It dissolved on contact, and the doctor stumbled into her arms. "Doctor!" she cried. "Victoria!" The doctor beamed in the light, clapping his hands and bouncing on his feet. "You got my message. Did you bring a towel?" "What?" Victoria asked, taken aback. But the doctor was already rooting through her bag. He pulled out the towel she had bought for him and began to dry himself off. "Doctor, what's going on?" Victoria asked. "And where's Jamie?" "Jamie's in the 16th century, Manchuria." "What?" Victoria's eyebrows shot up. "How did you get there?" "I'll explain later." The doctor tossed the towel back to her. She didn't see it coming, and it landed cleanly over her head, covering her face. She pulled it off with exasperation, only to find the doctor rummaging through her bag again. She opened her mouth to ask another question, but the doctor beat her to it. "What took you so long?" he asked. "But I got here as quickly as I could," she retorted. "I managed to get some information out of the school secretary, and she told me that strange box was found 200 years ago in Hong Kong." "Oh dear," the doctor answered, sounding apologetic, but not looking at it in the slightest. "I must have let my mind wander. Must look into that someday, Victoria. Victoria, did you bring the ham sandwich?" Victoria sighed, opened the side pocket of her backpack, pulled out a crusty sandwich containing ham. Before she could speak, the doctor took it from her and hungrily tore into it. Doctor, why did you ask me to bring you a sandwich?" she asked. "What?" The doctor swallowed. "I was hungry." "Don't you have any food?" "Yes, but I had a craving for a ham sandwich." Fine. He fell silent, looked at the floor, munching thoughtfully. "Doctor, what are you doing here?" Victoria asked. "Well, I was trying to stop the great intelligence from taking over the world." "Again?" "Third time lucky." "Well, I thought I had defeated it, but I was caught in one of its traps, so, I just had enough time to send out a message before I was frozen." She looked around nervously. "Is it gone?" Sighing heavily, he replied, "Well, for now, I don't think it will try anything here again. Shall we go?" She hesitated before saying, I'm not going with you, Doctor. I want to live a normal life." The doctor looked sadly at Victoria. "If that's what you want, at least let me take you back to the school." As they left the abbot's chamber, a powerful hidden force quietly planted a seed in Victoria's mind, and a whisper barely echoed through the empty walls. "Victoria," it sighed, as soft as a breeze, "you shall